People in Dodge City said she deserved to drown. That was the first thing I heard when Eliza Monroe stumbled into the Arkansas River with half the town laughing behind her. Midday sun burned hot enough to blister paint, but the water she crashed into was cold as cellar stone. And the look on her face said she knew, she absolutely knew, no one was coming to help. Except one man did. Caleb Ward. 45. Rancher. Hard as rawhide, quiet as snowfall, and built like the kind of trouble you only challenge once. Folks said he hadn't touched another soul since his wife died 8 years back. Some claimed he'd forgotten how to speak anything but yes, no, and leave it. He was riding along the riverbank when he saw her slip. Eliza had been carrying a basket of shirts she'd finished for the tailor shop. The boys on Front Street had been catcalling again, calling her Wet Liz, twisting her name into every cruel joke they could manage: sweat, rain, tears, river. They never got tired of grinding her down. She was only 24. Too young to walk like every breath hurt. Too young to be worn down to bone and silence. But the town had decided she was nothing. Eliza hit the river hard. Before her skirt could drag her under, Caleb was already off his horse. He didn't climb down, he dropped, one long step into the water, boots filling, coat heavy, arms cutting through the current. He grabbed her, hauled her upright, and held her steady with hands that looked carved from stone but touched her like she was spun glass. "Stay still," he said, voice low in her ear. "You're all right. Just breathe." But she didn't, not at first. Her eyes were wide, lips trembling, hair plastered to her cheek. And then she blurted the words without thinking. "You're getting me all wet." The line froze him for half a second. Maybe because it sounded like something it wasn't. Maybe because it was the first real, unguarded thing anyone had said to him in years. And definitely because the whole town stood on the bank staring at them, whispering, pointing, laughing like wolves. Caleb tightened his grip. Not to claim her, not to shame her, just to keep her from sinking while the world tried to watch her drown. She looked up at him. "Why did you help me?" He met her eyes, jaw set. "Because someone should have a long time ago." He walked her to the bank, one arm around her, his horse drinking quietly nearby. Eliza stood dripping through her thin cotton blouse. Caleb was soaked from the waist down, coat heavy and dark. The crowd watched like they'd witnessed a sin instead of a rescue. Something shifted in that moment, quiet, quick, but real. A shift Silas McGarry, the most dangerous man in Kansas, would soon turn into a noose for both of them. Eliza didn't know that yet. Caleb handed her his coat, warm and heavy, smelling of cedar and horses. She wrapped it tight, eyes down, hoping the stares would fade if she didn't meet a single one. But Dodge City never stopped staring when it found a new target. "You all right?" Caleb asked. She nodded, though her shaking hand said otherwise. That was when Silas walked out of the Long Branch saloon. He moved like he owned the whole town, and most days, he did. Money, land, water rights, and a pack of men who followed him like stray dogs in exchange for free whiskey. When he saw Eliza wrapped in Caleb's coat, he grinned slow. "Well, now, if it ain't Wet Liz finding new ways to soak herself." Eliza froze. Caleb didn't. He shifted slightly, placing himself between them, not threatening, just blocking Silas with the simple fact of his existence. Silas hated patience. Hated quiet strength even more. "You know," Silas said, "she had a job at the tailor shop this morning." "Not anymore," Caleb answered. "Nope," Silas smirked. "They kicked her out. Said she embarrassed the place. Said she brought shame on the women." He laughed. Imagine, this little orphan girl making a whole town blush. Eliza tried stepping back, boots slipping in mud. Caleb steadied her. Then Silas leaned close. "I got space at my ranch. Bed, meals, maybe a little respect if you learn to smile right." Eliza felt her stomach twist. She knew the trap in those words. Caleb knew it too. Silas grinned wider when he saw Caleb's jaw tighten. I can fix your name, sweetheart. Or ruin it for good. Caleb didn't shove him. Didn't raise his voice. He simply stepped between them again. Silas hated that most of all. He walked off, but when he glanced back, trouble burned in his eyes. Big trouble. What does he want from me? Eliza whispered. Caleb's voice was tired, heavy. Not what he wants, what he plans. Silas didn't strike immediately. Men like him waited for the moment that hurt most. 2 nights later, that moment came. Eliza was behind Caleb's stable, sewing a tear in one of his shirts, moon low, crickets loud enough to cover anything. That was when she heard boots. Slow. Wrong. 3 men stepped from the shadows, Silas's men. Evening, sweetheart. They reached for her. She ran. Barefoot, skirt snagging, lungs burning, heart slamming. She headed for the river, the only place she thought she could lose them. A shot cracked the night. Caleb heard it half a mile away. He rode hard. Eliza reached the river first, stepping into the cold water just as a rider thundered toward her. For a moment she thought it was another one of Silas's men. But then the moon lit his shoulders. Caleb. He swung off his horse before it stopped moving, grabbed her waist, and pulled her deeper into the reeds. Quiet, he whispered. Stay low. They can't shoot what they can't see. His chest pressed against her back. She clung to his forearms to stay upright. Silas's men searched the bank, argued, cursed, then left. Only then did she whisper, Why do you keep saving me? Because you keep needing it, he said softly. And he ain't done yet. They rode to Dodge City. Caleb walked her straight into the long branch. Silas stood from a corner booth, clapping slow. Well, look here. The river couple. He stepped close, voice slick as oil. Tell you what, Caleb. Let me take her. You keep your peace. I'll clean her name. Eliza tried to step back. Silas grabbed her wrist. Caleb moved. 1 violent second, and the room exploded. Fists cracked. Tables crashed. Men shouted. Silas wiped blood from his lip. You just made the biggest mistake of your life. Caleb didn't blink. Maybe. But I'm done watching you hurt her. Then everything stopped, because the sheriff walked in. Turns out the sheriff had been quietly gathering proof of Silas's crimes. Forged documents. Threats. Witness accounts. And tonight was his moment. Silas McGre, the sheriff said, You're done. Cuffs hit wrists. The saloon erupted. Silas was dragged away, cursing Caleb's name. Outside, the night was warm, the wind moving through cottonwoods. You could have died for me, Eliza whispered. No, Caleb said. I live for you. She took his hand. And the world, for the first time in years, didn't feel like it wanted to drown her. What happens now? She asked. He smiled. Now you start living the life they told you you never deserved. And I'll stand with you through every bit of it. And for the first time in her life, Eliza Monroe slept with her door unlocked. Because Caleb Ward sat on the porch with a rifle across his lap, waiting for trouble, ready to end it.